Okay, you.
Waiting for this weather to break. It feels like it might be snowing. But now that I see that might get a little bit more snow that
Yeah, Monday.
Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah.
The kids were praying for Monday, so they, Thursday.
I'm late, I got stuck at work.
How's it going?
I checked.
Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order, and if you would, let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright. Would you take the roll for us?
Jason Baker, Jim Dodger,
Here.
Brian Ellis,
Here.
Tim Engel, Dave Hava,
Here.
Brian Holman, Vic Mays, David Mills,
Here.
Jacob Pack,
Here.
Donald Pauly,
Here.
Steve Perry,
Here.
Sarah Stewart's, Travis Willard, Lynn Yeager. We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Thank you, ma'am. The first item, or the next item on the agenda, is the review of the minutes from our last meeting. Does anyone, these were provided before, and you've got a copy in front of you as well. Have everybody had a chance to review them, and if anybody have any changes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that the minutes be approved. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. They are approved. Great. The next item on our agenda is citizens' concerns, and this is the time of the meeting where we give folks that are attending an opportunity to come forward with any concerns they have to present to the commission, but not with respect to anything that's on the agenda. So we have two things on the agenda tonight. We'll have a public hearing on those or an opportunity to speak to those. But if there are any other concerns that you might have to come forward, this is your chance to speak to us now. All right. All right. None of that, so we'll go into the next item on the agenda, which is the 4S Development LLC plat approval for Phase 2.
Hello.
Hey.
So we're going to consider an application submitted by 4S Development LLC. They've requested preliminary plat approval for Liberty Park Phase 2. This is 2 additional commercial lots in the Liberty Park subdivision, labeled parcels C and D. Our authority to consider this application comes from West Virginia State Code, Section 8A, Parts 4 and 5, which govern subdivision and land development ordinances and give jurisdiction to planning commissions, and from Putnam County Subdivision Regulations, Article 100.04, which regulates major subdivision development and major subdivision development plats, and Section 1500.02, which defines words and terms used throughout. 4S Development began development of Liberty Park, a commercial subdivision with the division of the first lot in approximately 1998. The subdivision is located adjacent to and parallel with Interstate 64, east of Liberty Square, and has been developed in phases. Infrastructure has been constructed as needed to support each phase of development. On January 23, 2001, the Putnam County Planning Commission approved Resolution 01-2, authorizing 2 additional lots in Liberty Park along with their supporting infrastructure. These included a 2.5-acre lot located directly in front of Putnam Village and a 7.6-acre tract located east of the original lot. Subsequently, on September 25, 2018, Resolution 18-07 was approved, authorizing 2 additional lots and their supporting infrastructure to the east of the 7.6-acre tract. Currently, 4S Development has applied to the Office of Planning and Infrastructure to divide 2 additional commercial lots from Parcel 38 of Tax Map 213 located in Hurricane. The proposed subdivision is a continuation of the established major commercial subdivision known as Liberty Park. The applicant submitted a major subdivision application and disclosure statement on November 20th, 2025. A copy of the application is included as Attachment A. A reduced copy of the subdivision plat is included as Attachment B. The application and subdivision plat propose the division of the existing driveway from Parcel A to create a 0.33 acre tract identified as Parcel C, which will function as a shared driveway serving Parcels A, B, and D, with the allocation of maintenance responsibilities and expenses to be established through a separate legal agreement. Parcel D is a vacant 2.39 acre tract located at 1305 Liberty Park Drive. Construction of Liberty Park Drive and the existing drainage infrastructure received Planning Commission approval in 2001 under Resolution 01-2 for Liberty Square and Liberty Park. Liberty Park Drive has been constructed and subsequently adopted by the West Virginia Division of Highways and designated as County Route 33-1. The subject property is zoned C2 high-density commercial. Parcel D shall comply with all applicable zoning regulations. A copy of the zoning map is included as Attachment C. The subject property is outlined. The surrounding properties are zoned as follows. Yellow properties to the north and across I-64 to the south are zoned R1, single-family residential. Red properties to the south and west are zoned C2, high-density commercial. Purple properties located south of I-64 are zoned I-1, light industrial. The subject property is not mapped within FEMA's 100-year floodplain. Parcel D will be served by public water and sewer through Putnam PSD, utilizing existing utility lines and fire hydrants shown on the plat. Parcel D contains existing drainage infrastructure as confirmed by County Engineer Lee McCoy. Compliance for future commercial development will be reviewed as a part of the permitting process. Putnam County 911 Mapping and Addressing has approved the address for Parcel D and has determined that the shared driveway located on Parcel C does not require a street name. The documentation for that communication is included as Attachment D. No subdivision variances have been requested for the divisions of Parcel C and D. The photos of the site are included as Attachment E. The creation of 2 additional lots within Liberty Park was legally advertised in the Hurricane Breeze newspaper on January 15th, 26. All abutting landowners within 100 feet of the proposed subdivision were notified of the public hearing, and notice of the hearing was posted on site. Today, the Office of Planning and Infrastructure has received no adverse comments from the public regarding the subdivision. That's it.
Anybody have any questions for staff? And I just want to know one thing. There is a typo there on the item number 14, which has 2025.
Yes, we caught that and corrected it in the
I saw you
papers.
caught it, but, anybody, no questions for staff? All right. Now, again, this is my second meeting running this. We have a public hearing now, right?
Yes.
And I guess we'll take anyone who's here that wants to speak to this application. Okay. No one? All right. I will then close the public hearing and we go into our discussion. There's some items that we need to consider in the discussion is whether the major subdivision submittal is consistent with the county's comprehensive plan, which is at attachment F. Is the layout of a lot suitable for the physical condition of the property? Are any conditions necessary to ensure compliance if we grant this? And then if approved, are any conditions necessary to minimize the impact of the major commercial subdivision development on surrounding land and environment? Anybody have any thoughts on any of those items?
I think that it would definitely be beneficial. The reason is to, again, it's from commercial property, located in a perfect area for that.
Thank you.
It's just a continuation of what's already been done.
Yeah.
and, you know, parceling these out maximizes the use of the, you know, the land that's being parceled as well.
Totally agree. Okay, Glenn, so that's your motion? Is there a second? This is the motion to adopt the staff summary report, and if we'd had testimony, we also would adopt that as well. But this will be a motion to adopt the staff summary report for the record.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the summary report. Any other further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, report's adopted. Now, we need a motion to classify this as a major subdivision development.
I'll make that motion.
Been moved and seconded to classify this as a major subdivision development. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed say no. That motion is adopted. And next, we need a motion to approve or deny the major subdivision development with or without conditions. So we didn't have any discussion about conditions. So is there a motion to approve the development without conditions? Been moved and seconded to approve it without conditions. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say no. That motion is adopted. And our last motion is the motion on Resolution 26-01, which is the formal approval of the subdivision development. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say no. That motion is adopted. Yep. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. The next item on our agenda is the zoning amendment application for rezoning of the 126.05 plus or minus acre.
Yes. Okay, this is rezoning request 2026-01. Tammy Curry Smith desires to rezone approximately 126 acres, known as Parcel 5 of Tax Map 172 in Winfield. The request is to rezone part of parcel from R2 mixed residential to C2 high-density commercial, and the majority of the parcel from RR rural residential to C2. The request is to be considered based on authorities, facts, and criteria such as Chapter 8A of West Virginia Code, Putnam County adopted plans, and the adopted zoning ordinance. The 2024 Comprehensive Plan is one of those documents. Chapter 5 of that plan is in your packet as Attachment A. The US 35 Corridor Management Plan is also to be considered. You'll find some of that in Attachment B. And the Tays Valley Land Use Plan is also a consideration, C, Attachment C. And a full set of those plans are at the President's seat if you're interested. Article 150 of the zoning ordinance defines an amendment. Article 2000, amendments and hearing procedures for a rezoning request, is detailed in your packet. The RR article is included as Attachment D. It is the intent of this district to establish low-density residential areas consisting of single-family dwellings and compatible uses. The R2 article is included as Attachment E. It is the intent of that district to establish a variety of residential densities consisting of single-family dwellings, multifamily, duplex, and other compatible uses. The C2 article is attachment F. The intent of this district is to provide for a wide range of commercial uses whose nature of business requires convenient automobile and truck access. The timeline and facts section of your summary discusses specifics. In June 2021, a deed for Ms. Smith was recorded in the Putnam County Clerk's office. Its copy is in attachment G. December 11 of 2025, a rezoning application for this request was submitted. A copy of it with a disclosure statement is included as attachment H. Current zoning maps are included as attachment I. The applicable land is outlined. The second map is zoomed in for clarification. In majority, the subject acreage is surrounded by undeveloped woodlands zoned rural residential. Details of the zoning districts and abutting land uses are as follows. You'll note that yellow is RR, brown is R2, red is C2, and blue is IOP. Going around the properties, we have tax map 172 parcel 4, that's 95 acres about of C2 property that exists to the northwest and is located between the Canal River and 35. This property contains a home and is known as a previous golf course. 172 4.2 is about 32 acres of IOP, that's industrial office park, and it exists to the northwest and is undeveloped woodlands. 172.11 is 96 acres zoned RR located to the northwest. It is woodland property taxed as an inactive farm. 183.1 is about 2,300 acres of woodlands located to the south. A portion of the land is zoned RR and a portion is non-zoned. We also have 36 acres of woodlands owned by the DOT. It splits the applicant's property. This parcel is zoned RR and is a portion of the DOH right-of-way as well as an uneconomic remnant. Parcel 16 is 136 acres of woodlands located to the southeast, zoned RR. 6.8 is 3 acres in an active, which is an active business. You'll note as Mulchamore, it's zoned RR. 6.4 is 5 acres zoned RR. It's a single-family residential use. 6.6 is about 2 acres zoned RR, also a single-family residential use. 6.5 is the Church of God Mission, located about 1.8 acre parcel zoned RR. Parcel 5.1 is a 1.71 acre parcel that splits the frontage of the subject parcel. It's zoned RR and is in a single-family residence. The driveway, as well as a portion of the existing structure, cross the property line and exists on the subject land for rezoning. Parcel 6 is a 1 acre parcel zoned R2. It's a single-family residential use. And 6.13 is 26 acres zoned R2 located to the east. The front portion of the parcel is residential in nature. However, the house near the creek has been demolished. The subject parcel has been dissected into 4 different sections by the DOH, including State Route 817 and US Route 35. The existing R2 portion is nearly 1 acre, located between 817 and Canal River, and directly abuts the C2 district. Frontage on 817 nears 350 linear feet. The existing RR portion, located between 817 and 35, is approximately 40 acres and directly abuts the C2 district. 2 separate frontages onto Winfield Road exist, and they total about 182 linear feet. The smallest of the 2 frontages is about 40 linear feet. The southwestern portion of the subject RR area is approximately 55 acres and only abuts an IOP and RR zoning district. The southeastern portion of the subject RR area is approximately 31 acres and only abuts the RR zoning district. You'll find photographs and aerial imagery in attachment J. FEMA's 100-year floodplain and floodway are located within the site's boundaries, notes attachment K. Based on available DOT traffic data, the number of vehicles traveling on 817, which happens to be 80-foot wide right-of-way in this area, has been reduced to a point of underutilization as a primary two-lane highway with a proven capacity to service higher traffic volumes. This reduction is a direct result of the completion of the 35 project and rerouting of interstate travel from a two-lane to a four-lane highway. The subject land is near a Putnam County tax increment financing district. That's a TIF. An existing TIF is approximately 1 mile northwest of parcel 5. Attachment L shows the TIF district in yellow. The subject property is outlined. Water service is available through West Virginia American. This property will have sewer service available along Winfield Road once Ms. Smith grants a sewer easement and the current sewer expansion project is complete. West Virginia Code states the term spot zoning is used by the courts to describe a zoning amendment which is invalid because it is not in accordance with a comprehensive or well-considered plan. One court said, defined as the process of singling out a small parcel of land for a use classification totally different from that of the surrounding area for the benefit of the owner of such property and to the detriment of other owners, spot zoning is the very antithesis of planned zoning. It is improper to isolate a certain use during a decision-making process for parcel rezoning. Under West Virginia law, it is proper to consider a rezoning application by the listed permitted uses in the requested zoning classification. In this particular case, the landowner will be entitled to make use of any of those described in a C2 district if the rezoning application is approved, just as the landowner is currently entitled to make use of any of those described in the applicable R2 or RR district. On January 29, a legal advertisement was published in the Hurricane Breeze. On February 2, abutting landowners within 250 feet of the parcels were mailed a notice about tonight, and signs were posted on site on February 12. This morning, I did receive a phone call from Ms. Shirley Jones about tonight's meeting. You will note that there's a document at your seat that just kind of describes our interaction. You'll see that your options for decisions tonight will be under Roman numeral 6, page 6 in your packet. And as usual, the last sheet in your packet is the rezoning worksheet, and I'm available for questions if you have them.
Thank you. Does anybody have, go ahead.
Does the property abut C2 somewhere, or has that been removed from the parcel spot?
Yes, if you'll go to attachment L, you'll see the properties outlined. So everything of the property which exists between the river and Route 35 directly touch the C2 district. Correct.
And there's a portion of it on the other side, or I guess that'd be the south side of 35 that abuts that industrial.
The
Is that
IOP,
blue?
yes,
I2.
the blue IOP, Industrial Office Park.
Any other questions for Steve?
Was there concern about a couple of places where it could create spot zoning with 172.13? I know 172.5 is, there's a section there off 35 that's separated from the other part of 172.5, which is also on the north side of 170.
Yes, so because they are side by side, the two districts, the two pieces of property, they had the right to ask for this application, and that's why we're here tonight. So these would be decisions that you would consider during your process.
Okay. And then another place was down there just off of 817 on the south side, that single residence 172.5.1. Is that would that create a spot as well?
Are you asking if the 5 in this area would happen to turn red, would it be a spot zoning in the middle?
Yes.
Okay,
5.1, it looks like it would sit between two reds.
That has happened before. Spot zoning does not necessarily mean that because it does not touch the other collar, that it fits that classification. But again, that is something that you would be here to consider this evening.
Thank you. I just need clarification.
Yes.
And I was going to ask about the parcel that kind of sits between the two larger, longer parcels. And I think you touched to it, Melissa, that 11-172-13.
Yeah.
The state owns that?
They
Is that what I
do.
heard correct?
Yes, and they have it labeled as an uneconomic remnant.
Do we know what that means in state definition?
No, we do not. So they went through, and if I remember correctly, they got quite a bit of property when they hadn't nailed down their exact travel path. So I don't know if they just picked this up at the time for some reason, but it does exist there as an individual parcel.
That does help with some spot zoning concerns, since if the state owns it. To me, it's not as much of a potential concern. And on the other piece of property, down on close to the river, at 5.1, that would, correct me if I'm wrong, that might be more of a spot zoning concern if it was surrounded on all sides. Like none of this was, you know what I'm saying? Am I making
Yeah,
sense?
I mean, there is a history of previous decisions that were made of rezonings taking place and what I'll call other pieces that didn't change with them that have stood as their existing zoning. That's happened more than once.
Any other questions for staff? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this is now I'm going to open the public hearing, and this is the opportunity you have to come forward and speak to this proposed zoning amendment application. If there's anyone, if you would come forward and state your name at the microphone, state your name and address. And
Good afternoon. Mark Drennan, 16209 Winfield Road, and I'm here on behalf of Tammy Curry Smith. We own the property that is labeled 11172 6-6.13. We're adjacent to the property in question. I don't have much to say. I think Melissa did a good job explaining it, and I'm just here to answer any questions that you might have.
anybody have any questions for Mr. Drennan? It's your lucky evening.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Sorry about that.
Good evening. My name is Shirley Keeley Jones. I live at 939 Green Road in Fraser's Bottom. I'm here tonight just to give a comment. I've been coming, I can't believe it's been 3 years since I got involved. In January of 2026, my sister and I, we found out that the Smith property was up for C2. I'm quite familiar with that property. I've lived in Fraser's Bottom all my life. And I actually used to babysit for this Portland, his brother, my sister guy. But, you know, I found it upsetting when, you know, January the 30th, I believe it was, of that year, the county, and I just want to talk about this before I go to the 126 acres. The county commission, after the public commission voted 5-4 for it to go to the county commission, the county commissioners, they okayed December the 28th of 2023 parking spots of 600, and it's of a warehouse, and if it is an Amazon, That's 3 shifts a day, and that's 1,800 vehicles. And that was voted in 3-0. And I know Mr. Smith took that to court, there was a resolution, but I haven't heard, I understood it was going to be zoning reduced, but I don't know part of that settlement. I guess we'll find out once the circuit court is okay, whatever. But in the 200 some acres over in Valley, I think that's great, that's going to be developed, that's wonderful. But this 126.5 acres, it bothers me. I have lived in Fraser's Bottom, like I say, all my life. Has anybody ever done some studies on what that property was back in the 1960s and beside the golf course? What that property was back in the 60s and early 70s before the EPA came in to involved. Does anybody know that history? Well, it's not good. It's not good. There was a mobile chemical cleaning place. And before I developed anything, I'd want to know what's underneath that ground. Because I'm telling you, it's not good. I think that needs to be researched. The people that own it need to know, need to find out, because once they start digging, I'm going to think they're going to be surprised at some stuff they're going to be digging up. And I do have another question, and this is all. I just wanted to know, what is the proper procedure to appeal a planning board rezoning recommendation decision to the courts? Is it 10 days of the planning commission recommendation, or is it 10 days after the county commission to adopt the board's recommendation?
Well, honestly, I don't know the answer to that question, but I would recommend that you possibly consult an attorney who can
I did.
give you that information.
We know, and we were under the understanding that it was 10 days from this that it had to be.
Yeah, I think the Board of Zoning Appeals is involved in there as well before you go to court.
Well, that would be good for,
Again,
people to know that, because I've not been able to find for sure. And,
well, you should.
would the county attorney know that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yep.
If you don't mind, Larry Fry's his name, and Mr. Fry will be more than happy to help you. Just call the county office and ask, and Melissa will measure the phone number, and just ask for Mr. Fry.
And another thing, when is the last study of the highway been done? All of this C2 zoning, let me tell you, my husband was on the fire department for years on old Route 35. New Route 35, it's going to be a death trap too. We lost 2 people's lives this morning in planning.
I understand, but one thing maybe this will help you a little bit. The only thing that we're allowed to consider when we're considering an application like this is the evidence that, is presented both with the application, and then if any citizens like yourself come forward with any of the information like you've been talking about, maybe a study that you mentioned or anything in the past that might pertain to this property. If you were to bring it forward to us, we could consider it, but we can only consider what's brought to us and presented to us in this forum right here.
That's just the way it works in West Virginia, it seems like.
Yeah.
And it depends on how many people die until something is done.
Well, you have the opportunity you have here tonight. It's a public hearing, and you can bring forth any evidence you want, and we would be happy to consider that. But we're not allowed to go out and look for things that may have happened in the past. We have to do everything in the public, in a public hearing like this. And
Well, all I'm saying is good luck when they start digging for the sewer or any place, I'm telling you.
And I'll speak to the environmental piece on that. So it's obviously the purchaser's responsibility to do any type of due diligence on the property prior to the purchase, if they would seek some form of financing.
Where the swamp is.
Well, understand, but from a financing perspective, there is a bank involved. They will require environmental due diligence to be completed. And if there are environmental issues on the property, they will need to be remediated prior to any type of improvements.
Okay, good luck, thank you all for what you do for us.
Ms. Jones, we really do appreciate your comments. Thank you for coming tonight. Appreciate it. Okay, anyone else want to speak to this application? If not, I will go ahead and close the public hearing and we'll move into our consideration of the facts that need to be determined on the application. The first item that needs to be considered of the three questions is whether the proposed amendment protects and promotes the public health, safety, convenience, moral, and general welfare. Anyone on the board have any comments with regard to this, any relevant facts?
I would say yes, because it's already abutting existing C2 property. It's also along a corridor that's been purchased at a large expanse with taxpayers' dollars, and it will allow for growth that's needed in our area.
Okay.
I agree with everything Jacob said.
Any other comments? All right. I'm assuming then that the answer for the first criteria is, based on the comments, a yes. Okay. The second criteria is whether the amendment is consistent with the adopted comprehensive plan and the US 35 corridor management plan. Comments on that?
I would say the answer to that is yes. It basically states it in the question as US 35 corridor. These parcels sit directly or are split by US 35.
Notably as well, as staff mentioned, that it abuts existing C2 property and industrial office park property. Any other comments on criteria number 2? Based on those comments, I'm going to suggest that it's also a yes. All right. We don't need to go to number 3 because neither 1 nor 2 was a no. So if there is no other discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
And I'll second.
I'm assuming that motion is to approve?
Yes, sir.
All right.
My second still stands.
All right, the motion is to approve the application for a zoning amendment for this property. Is there any further discussion? Been moved and seconded.
Just for clarification, it is for recommendation.
Recommend, yeah.
Yes.
Thanks for catching me. This is a motion to recommend approval to the county commission of this zoning application. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Motion passes.
And this is tentatively placed on the commission's May 26th agenda.
Okay. Thank you. The next item is just that our next scheduled meeting is March the 26th at 6 o'clock. So if you make sure that's on your calendar. And then we move into any unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business? I'm not aware of any. All right, any new business? All right, hearing none, then I think we're adjourned.
So moved.
Second.
Your grandson and my son on the west side right now, we went into basketball. Absolutely.
They're
pretty good.
They are.
I didn't know what to put. I didn't know what to put there.
I can run.
The vote?
You have a good.
Minutes were approved.